Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community, and today we are featuring the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and I am your host for this show, and I'm excited to have Gerald Jacobs back again under a different banner today as author extraordinaire.
Indeed.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Barbara.
This is quite an accomplishment, isn't it?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the book was in me for a lot of years, and I had planned on writing this, and the time just wasn't exactly right for all sorts of reasons. One, I didn't have the time. But now, since I've finally, after 30 plus years, decided to retire from the real estate business, I had time on my hands so that I could do this.
A lot of time from the real estate business.
Yeah.
Once you retire from that.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. It's the title on this is You Can Be a Networking Maniac. That really rung a bell because there's so much out there in networking, and the digital age is it not changing day by day?
It seems like everything's changing faster and faster the older that I get.
That's true.
This book is about the things that we learn and do at the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, which is a lot of emphasis is on relationship networking for sales and marketing people. And that's what the book is about. Mm-hmm. It shows a step-by-step path for relationship networking for sales and marketing people. And it's written in a form of a novel, and the lessons are built into the storyline. The book goes into detail on how and why relationship networking works so well.
You just triggered something because over the years I have been networking. I had a networking group that I shared with some other people, and I just feel that things are going back to the way it kind of used to be for good reasons in building relationships. Did you find that as part of a motivation? Because I know that the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber is all about relationship buildings,
right?
Old-fashioned handshakes, one-on-one, meeting people from face to face instead of this, right?
Exactly.
So tell me, what motivated you? What was your inspiration to do this book?
Well, I had a lot of time on my hands, and this has been in my mind for a long time. There was a time a few years ago, we had a local magazine in this area that I did write a column for. So I've got some experience at writing. I did like 500 words about once a month for about 2 years for them. And I knew that I wanted to write and that I had something to say. And I wanted to share my experiences, not just with the Chamber of Commerce, which was the prime motivator here, but relationship building was a key to my success in the real estate business. So we're all about believing that it's all about the relationships at the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. And these are the words and the deeds of what that gets you as far as your career doing sales and marketing work.
So basically, you're taking success and you're sharing some of your secrets to the success that actually worked for you in real estate. And real estate can be like up and down and crazy, right?
Oh, sure.
So let me ask you this. Did you have to learn something about yourself?
I'm still learning things about myself. And some of them are good, some of them are things that one wants to overcome.
Good for you. We all are, right? Life's a learning.
Hopefully.
It is a learning experience, that's for sure. So was it hard to write?
Really, the writing of the book was the easiest part. The first thing that I did is I spent about 3 solid months learning about how to write a book. There's more information you can possibly handle on the internet. As you well know, we've got just access to more information than we can possibly absorb. So I spent several months just reading about writing books. Mm-hmm. Most of it is geared towards nonfiction. Towards fiction. And I want to write nonfiction. This book was nonfiction. Well, back sometime in the later future, I might write fiction. And once I started writing the book, I found that was actually the easiest part. It was after I'd written the first draft that all the serious and difficult stuff started coming into play. Editing the book was challenging. You can't really edit your own material very well. you're just too close to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you are. So I have people that are known as beta readers, and there are people who will read my rough drafts and get their red pens out and circle all the typos and the misspellings and the everything else. And it's amazing how many times you go through a book like this. It's only about 175 pages. We're still finding errors in here. I mean, it's, you know, you say, how can this be? In fact, my wife said once we got the first final draft, the author's version of the book, she was looking through there and she's saying, I can't believe that this was in your original. I know we checked this. I know I circled all of these. It can't be in the original copy. So we dragged out the original copy, and sure enough, there it was. And after reading it 10 times, neither one of us nor any of my beta readers had seen some of this stuff. And I got to tell you, I've got 2 spell checks and 2 grammar checks. That didn't find it either. So much for how good those applications were.
I was going to say that. So how did you get it published?
Well, unless your name is Brad Thor or David Baldacci, publishers aren't going to talk to you. You're a nobody, and they're not going to take a chance on somebody that nobody's ever heard of. So the big trend in publishing these days is called indie publishing. And independent people are putting out thousands and tens of thousands of books every single year, this being one of them. The Amazon Publishing, is now called KDP, it gives you a lot of information, gives you a lot of help. They even help you with things like picking out your cover art and what goes on the back of the book, and things that you never even think about, like how big is your spine? The words have got to fit on there. If you make them too big, they kind of slop over onto here. Well, how do you figure out what in the world your spine height, width, length, whatever is? There's a formula for that. So they teach you these things. And when you start getting into this publishing aspect of it, formatting the book is a whole learning experience in its own.
In itself.
Oh, yeah. As for instance, page 1 of the book needs to be on the right-hand side. Okay?
Why is that?
I have no idea. I'm just following directions.
Just following the rules, right?
Yeah. But then you got to learn all these publishing words, like, right? There's front matter and back matter and gutters and widows and orphans. I had no idea what any of this stuff meant, so it takes time to learn about it. Front matter is everything that comes before page 1. Okay, it'll be the dedication, the table of contents, blah, 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 blah. Back matter is everything that comes after page last. Things like acknowledgments, bibliographies, and all of that. But somebody's got to tell you what the definition of the word is. So learning how to format the book and making it come out so that it looks professional took as much time and as much learning as writing the book did.
I was just going to say, just learning the verbiage
Yeah.
to figure out what, when, who, where do I do all this? Yeah.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
It was not
So
at
what did
all what I had in mind. I just wanted to write a book.
I know. What's the big issue? How hard can that be, right?
Yeah. It was the easiest part, no kidding.
Yeah, because it was in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the easiest part. And then to get it delivered in the proper format and all this and that. So when did you actually start writing the book?
I started actually physically putting words on the computer in, I think, May of last year, 2019.
That's not so bad.
Well,
It's not, I mean,
I finished it in about 4 months, the first draft.
uh-huh.
So I laid it out, outlined it, did all the things I needed to do to plan the book, and wrote it, and then rewrote it, and edited it. And then about November, Kindle Publishing published the author's copy, so I could go through it and go, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? How did I misspell that word? Or things like spell checks can't help you with, like the word form or from.
Oh.
It's one typo away, and they're both words, so spell check doesn't catch that.
You know, this is really good education. In case you're thinking of writing a book, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Sharing this, we have about 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
But
Should I talk faster?
No, I just want to make sure that I get in a little bit more of the content of the book.
Okay.
Because for anybody, young at heart, if you're in business out there, if you're a member of our chamber that we're featuring today, the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, or any other chamber, and you're thinking of writing a book, maybe you've thought of writing a book many, many years ago. There's a lot to it, and there's no time like the present time, as we were talking about just before the show, to getting it done. But there's a lot more in it. Think about what you want to write. To me, it sounds like this is something very passionate. For a business owner, we know that networking is key. Even if you're involved with any charities or not-for-profits, if you're, wanting to do something to give back to the community, the knowledge that you put in here, this is just my belief system, you want it to be compelling.
Absolutely.
You want it to work for people, and that's one reason why you put your heart into it. Now, before we close this segment, can you give us a few little tips that a business owner might have? Maybe they've just joined the chamber. Now, you've been with the chamber for a good little while, right?
15, 18, 19 years,
yeah,
yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
A little bit of experience. So can you give us some of the biggest spotlighted points in here?
Sure. It's all about the relationships. Okay.
Gotcha.
When it comes to developing your business and getting new business, do you think that you would stand a better chance of going out and knocking on some stranger's door and say, hey, would you want to buy my widget? Or would you like this great service I have? Or do you think it would be a better idea to go to the people that know you, love you, and trust you and ask them, can you help me out? Whenever you hear of a friend or a family member or a neighbor that has use for my services, would you mind giving me a call and let me know who they are? Now, where do you think you would get the most business from?
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Exactly. And I just want to go back to what we were saying with how many years you've had in the real estate business.
30 plus.
30 plus years. What is this few
It's
years
a
in the
living.
business? A little bit, right. So that being said, I just wanted to connect the two. So you're very validated in writing a book like this because you took what worked for you, being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber, and the experience in real estate, and you're now wanting to give back because we said earlier, it wouldn't be right if you just kept all this successful information inside.
It essentially would be wasted.
Yes.
But what's interesting about this is the stuff that I learned early in my career and developed and worked at and taught myself and learned about well before I'd ever discovered the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. And coincidentally, and this is one of the reasons I've been with the Chamber all of these years, is because they believe what I had already learned.
And there was a match of enthusiasm right there. I've got to tell you, and you can get the book on Amazon, right?
On Amazon.
On Amazon. So we're down in the last few seconds here. I want to thank you so much. Congratulations.
It's been my pleasure.
I know this is going to be a hot
Thank you.
seller. All right. And you
I
can
hope
get
so.
it on Amazon. The name of the book is You Can Be a
The
Networking
Networking
Maniac.
Maniac.
Go for it. We'll see you back after
All
this.
right.